Sir, I'm joined.
Okay, Manish, you can start now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. So, okay, so let's start today's session. So, any confusion from last day session?
I've installed the Anaconda 3.5 version, but when I'm trying just to open the software, it's not opening.
It's not opening. Okay,
Yes.
so just share your screen. Let me check it once.
Hello.
Yes.
So I'm going to start this Anaconda Navigator.
Mm-hmm. Start the
Okay.
navigator.
It's just opening like this much only. When just
Nothing is
I'm
opening.
nothing is opening.
Okay, go to task manager.
One second, sir.
Control Shift delete.
One second.
Control Shift delete.
It's taking time, sir.
Yeah.
Having a little problem.
Okay, 1 second. Blue stack.
Close it.
Just here, just type A.
Hey,
Only just type A. Okay. Check any Anaconda navigator is running here or not.
should I
One
give
is
it
running, as you already saw.
ready, sir?
One is running. Okay, maybe one is. One thing you can do, just into the search Windows search bar, go there
Yes,
and
sir.
type Jupyter or Spider. SPYD.
Why?
SPY. This one, the second one. Yeah, click here. Check it is opening or not.
Not yet.
It is not opening, right? So actually, maybe there is some ambiguity.
Jupyter once time.
No, I think actually your installation is not done properly. That's why it is not
Uninstall it
opening.
and again install it. I think.
No, no, you just do one thing. First, remove every content, every possible things, whatever is installed. Then try to reinstall it. Because after uninstall, there would be some files still present into your systems. So you have to check app data or the users panel or there.
Okay, sir. I'm just showing you one time. One second, sir. This is the Anaconda 3. Okay, the what I told like that. And this is a user and Saurabh Sharma.
Mhm.
And Honda file is not here, but still I think it's a
App data now local. See here is one. I have to
kind of
check it. I think maybe there is some issue with your installation. That's why. See,
what?
Conda is there. After, yeah.
Okay, okay. Honda is there. Nothing is there in the Honda. So should I give you the control so that you can check it out from
Yes,
whether?
give me the control.
Okay. Oh,
Okay. See, the folder is empty. How it will open?
so what should I do?
Just remove everything. First uninstall. If yeah, okay, let me check it once.
So should I? Okay, okay.
It is hidden. No issue. Anaconda Python.
The thing is, that, sir, by the before yesterday, I was doing a project on Python. The
Mhm.
was not able to getting the output because of this issue, I guess. I was
I think maybe there is some issue with your actually environment, so I
yeah,
have to
sir.
check it manually. I
Mm-hmm.
think maybe either your Anaconda is providing some kind of ambiguity, so the file is not getting basically while it is see in Python whenever you are trying to install any software, they are basically getting from the commands. In Anaconda, while you are installing that in backend or in the console, the commands are automatically running. Whenever you will try to install any packages, you will see that here you don't have to download it manually, just provide the command, and if your internet connection is stable and good, then the package will install automatically. Otherwise it will throw the error. If somehow you will get the error, the only possible way is remove everything, then try to reinstall it.
Okay,
At
so
that time this,
should I uninstall the
yeah,
unequal?
uninstall. First of all, copy all of your content. So you already said that you have done some kind of project, so first copy the content, then remove everything like Anaconda, Python, everything. First remove this thing, okay, and check, and also try to remove it from the registry.
Sorry, actually, sir, the thing is that I was not able to remove it from the register. Can you please help me out with this?
Okay, so at the end of the class I will help this thing.
Okay, so you just remove the registry part.
Sure.
I will do rest of the part.
Okay, all right, so let's start today.
Okay, sir, stop this training, sir. Okay.
Yeah, you can stop this game, and it will take time, the uninstall process.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so okay, so last day I just told you about the basics about the Python. So from today let's start the coding portions. First is, first let's start today with the numbers. So what are the numbers basically represents in Python? Basically there are four type of numbers we can declare here. The first is, you guys already know, that is the integer. So integer means those number which has already from 0 to 1. There is no floating point, or there is no the value, pointer value, or you can say there is no doubles value, or that's kind of. Integer means only a single digit, or we can say absolute digits is the integer. So from 0 to infinity times, and any numbers considered as integer. The next is the float, and also double. I think you guys see this thing, float and double. Basically these both are the floating, represent the floating point number. Floating point numbers. Floating point numbers means like your 0 0.3, 0 0.7. Okay, these are the floating point numbers. So what is the difference between, first of all, this float and double value? See, these both are represent the floating point number. The main difference is about the sizes. Sizes, double is nothing but double up value of this float. So we don't need to consider this thing in Python, because in Python they are automatically casting. So we don't need this thing. Next comes the exponential. Exponential values. Exponential value means, suppose 10 to the power 3. Okay. So in general, these three type of numbers are provided in Python. But okay, 10 to the power 3, and you guys already know that if I write down 10e2, so what it also represents a some kind of exponential value. And at the time of the result, what would be the value? It may be a integer, or might be a the floating pointer value. So these are falls under the numbers in our Python system. Number is one kind of data type. So in general, now what we will do, we will try to focus on only integer and float value, and we don't need to declare it. We don't need to declare this thing outside by manually, like in Java. What we have done, we just for integer we have to take a variable int, nothing but a keyword, not a variable, sorry, it's a keyword. We need to take a keyword int. For float you have to take a keyword either float or double, but in Python we don't need to take any kind of keyword like that. Suppose I need a value 10, just declare it directly a equal to 10 and it will make your work done. That's all. Now one thing is, in Python, as there is no need to declaration of the data type, so we can at the time of execution, or at the time of execution we can declare it, because the definition is not required here. Remember this thing very carefully. Let me compare it with the Java. This is the way we can declare a variable in Java, and in Python we can declare it. Okay, in Python we just declare it a equal to 10. So what is the difference between these two? First is, we need to initialize what is a in Java, that either a is a kind of your integer, which data type would be of the variable a, we need to declare it. But in Python we don't need it, automatically assign and automatically guess, like this 10 is nothing but one integer value. So as the integer value comes, automatically Python assign now a is your integer variable, now a is nothing but your numbers data type. So we don't need to declare it before initialization of the variable. That is a different. So we can use it again and again at the time, while suppose while we are executing something or anywhere, suppose we require, we can use any variable. We don't need to initialize, we don't need to declare what type of variable it would be. That's why it's Python called dynamic typing, or Python language is called dynamic typing languages. Okay, so next is, so as this is the numbers type, so how many type of operation we can do possibly in Python. So the type of arithmetic operation we can perform here, one is the addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. So there is two type of division in Python. One is the normal division and the second one is the floor division. So what is this thing? I will say this thing. So let me give a space. It means multiple operation. Addition is nothing but just do a ten plus 10. It will make your work simple. So see, the last day I told you that in Python we can execute the code the console directly. That means here in the interactive mode, this is called the interactive mode, or maybe into the text editor part here. So what you see, suppose if I write down here print 10 plus 10, I'm doing nothing but a printing operation. So as I told you, that print is used to print some output to the console. So if I execute this value, see what will be the result. 20. The same thing I can done. The same thing I can do here also directly. 10 plus 10, it will provide the result 20. Now see, there is two different type of this output pattern, and this output pattern is different. This output pattern, it will say that it is running a file, it is taking a file and it is going to execute it, and this is the result, this is output result of that file. That means whenever we are going to run something from the text editor, it it takes the file content and it executes the file, whatever it is written into that content. But whenever we are going to do into the interactive mode, it will directly execute this thing. Clear, everyone? Now,
Yes, sir.
now comes to that part, that what the Jupyter notebook does. Jupyter notebook do this both part. It basically Jupyter node would execute it as the interactive mode, not this file mode. But into that interactive mode in Python console also, but here into this spider console I cannot able to do that kind of structure. But in Python, if some of you install in the Python modules, in Python modules we can create a interactive mode inside, create a text or notebook type mode inside this interactive mode, and we can execute it. Basically that is the abbreviated version inside your Jupyter notebook. So for now just leave it. So kind of like that, this is the addition operation. So simple, I'm doing the next operation like subtraction. You guys already know that 10 minus 10 is nothing but the 0 operation. Okay, if I do 10 multiply 10 is 100. Now okay, let it be 7 divided by 4. What will that put? In general, we know that this is a division operation, but in Python, it is nothing but float operation. It will create the division. It will provide you the quotient value of the division operation, but along with your floating value or along with your sum value after the decimals or after the points, you can say. But suppose I don't want this kind of stuff. So first let me show you one thing. Suppose there is no point. If I divide it, there is no point. So what is the result? See, the point is always come because it will return the float value. So the type of one thing, whenever you are going to create any applications or whenever you are going to provide any kind of application, remember one thing, just what type of the result value would be. Because after in one or two mode, or after like you the data structure will came, then what happens, you will see some kind of error is showing here. Either maybe it is showing the type is mismatch, or your array is overflow on this kind of stuff. So most of the time you will find out the type is mismatch, or some other type is showing, or some other type is required but it is not here, that kind of stuff. So what type it will return in each of the operation, just try to find out this thing, so it will solve most of your errors. So here it will throw, or here it will provide nothing but a floating value. Okay, all right. Now, suppose I wanted to create a pure division or nothing but a integer division value. So what I have to do? See, this double slash represents a pure integer division. So if I do that division operation into this one, 7 by 4. Let me show you. What I mean, it will discard the remaining part. See, it will discard the remaining part. Now, the next one is, as I told you, the module operation. So this is the symbol of the module operation. It will return the remainder value of it. The next one is nothing but our exponential operation, double star. So these are the basic, all the numbers operations. Very easy and very basic. This is the first data type of the Python, nothing but the numbers. Next. Let's see what will the result be. So let me show you the next one. These two result value is different. Why is that? First, whenever it is going to write, see here, when I declare it with the parenthesis, I make this is the first priority of my system, and this is the second priority of my system. This is the second priority, means this parenthesis comes first, after that this multiplication operator. But here, as I don't assign anything here, so what happened, basically it reads, how it reads first, 10 multiplies to, how it reads 10 multiplies to 20, 20 plus 30 and 2. That means first preference of the operator is multiplication, so it will execute first. What happened in the backend? Let me copy this. Let me copy the whole code. You guys all have the idea about trees, binary trees, AVL trees.
Yes, sir.
So what happened here into this part? In general, we go that what is the first priority of the operator? The first priority comes, first comes to the power, second comes the multiplication or division, next come plus or minus, addition or multiplication operator. So as the priority of the operator, this 10 multiplies 2 first execute, then the addition will execute. So what happened into the tree, if I want to draw it in a tree, so first this multiplication operator, then come 10 and 2, this come first, later then after that whatever it precise, that's plus 2 or that operator, this will come the later part. So but when we do that part, when we add the parentheses, and then this part will execute the first one, and this part will execute the first one, then the remaining. So first, if we assign, that depend on the parenthesis, if we assign something in the parenthesis, it comes the highest priority, then power, then multiplication, then addition, and the subtraction. Okay. So that's why the result is different here. So that's all about numbers. Very easy and very basic. Next. Now, let me show you one thing. As I told you, a equal to 10. So now 10 is assigned to the a. So next, if I do one thing, a equal to a plus 10. So what happens now? A value incremented to 20. Basically, this a represent 10, and it will again reassign to here into this a variable, and it will do the same part. Next comes the Python incremented by, suppose this one. This represents the increment or decrement. If I use the negative sign, it will decrement it. If I use, let me sorry, then it will decrement the value. So it will the nothing but the increment. It will increment and assign. That operator will work, and the negative part, it will decrement then assign. It will do the same part. Basically, the meaning is here nothing but a equal to a plus 1, and in the second one also a equal to a minus 1. And in Python, you can do also like the If we do, then it will do the same part. A equal to a multiplied by 2, and do the rest of the part. So now the main part in the last day I am saying you that there is in general two type of operation is done into our backend system. One is the logical operation, the second one is the assignment operator. The assignment operation, remember the assignment operation always start from the right side, like this one. First this value is allocated, first it will check that this is nothing but a integer literal value. Then what we are going to, we are going to addition it or add it with the variable a, then it will add. After that, that complete value will assign here a. That has done into the assignment operator. But if I do that part, so be equal to 20. If I do that part, what happens? It will start the execution from left to right. First it will check the value of a, then it will check the what is the logical condition we have provided, then it will check the value of b, and then it will provide the results. So remember, it will start from the assignment operator start from the right side, and the logical operation start from the left side. Okay, so that's all about the numbers. Now
Please
let's
repeat.
surely, as I'm saying, the last day I told you that I told all of you that in backends, basically in the Python backends, the operation is start the engine. There is two type of operation. Either it is the assignment operation, assignment operator, sorry, assignment operation, or there is kind of logical operation. So what happened in the assignment operation? In the assignment operation, the execution starts from the right side. Like it will try to read from this a. It will not try to read from this a. It will try to read from the right side of the assignment operator, nothing but this one, the equal to. Then it will first it will check what is the string, what is the integer literal value has been declared here, nothing but 1. Then it will add up with this a, then after the total value, the total addition value will assign to the value of a. So it will start from right to left. But what happened in the logical operation? In the logical operation, the execution starts from the right, sorry, from the left to
Left.
right. That is, the a is nothing but first we check the value of a, then what is the logical condition we have provided, then it will check on that. After then, what is the value? Why basically this is start from left to right, and why it is start from right to left? Because see, if Python interpreter try to find out from left to right, then there is nothing inside this a nothing but one void. So it will reflect, it will provide one reflect to the programming languages. That's why the assignment operation always start execution from uh, right to left. And why is this kind of operation is start from left to right? You guys see that, suppose I wanted to draw this thing into a your this pattern. Suppose this value there is one value a, this one value b as some kind of operation. So there will be some combinations. If I wanted to consider it as binary value, then there will be some combination. So combinations always start from the left side or from the right side. So based on that logic, it will assign this kind of stuff. Okay, so that's all about the numbers. So next is your string. So in Python there is no concept of your character. Okay, before that, the one point that I forget to say, that is, as I told you, the variable, so there is one criteria to declare up the variables. The criteria is, first you can use from a to z, or from a to capital Z. So I am writing it down as a regex format. Later I will show you what is a regex after string interpolations. So this, it will take a to z, any variable name, it will take from small a to small z, from capital A to capital Z, or takes any numbers. Okay, make it as a, or any numbers, or it will take some special character like the underscore, Okay, dash. In general, try to use always these two as a character, underscore, dash, or don't use this special character most of them, because these are the reserved, these are the forbidden. Here every character represents some different value or different criteria. So in general, the naming formation does not allow you to write anything or any name with this character, this special case or special character. Next is, don't don't start with number. Don't start with numbers. Suppose like I wanted to declare, if the variable name is apple, then sorry, apple, then it is okay. But if I declare is 23 apple, then it will reject, it will provide any error to the name, to the your console, because the it will not support it to the variable format that python has been declared. Okay, one thing, that these rules, the every rules, everything is declared into paypate. Paypate is a set of paypate provide a set of rules or set of instruction by which we can write the programs, or by which I can codes. You have to follow that thing. Okay, next is, always try to avoid one is this capital I, because sometimes this capital S is will more close to the number one. Okay, or it will sometimes we will not we it will show some ambiguity to the visual, or we will not sometimes distinguish it to some separate character. That's why this single I is not used for the variable declaration. Next is small l. Small l is also very similar to the number one. Next one is big O. Don't use the capital O format. And the last is, some built-in keywords are there. Some built-in keywords like the str or list or det or class. These are the other built-in keywords. So never ever try to use this keyword while you are accessing or you are creating any variable system. So whatever, it will provide the reflect. Basically, more precisely, if I say that suppose I wanted to declare a list or declare a list variable using this keyword, it will accept, it will store the value. What is this? The next day I will show you, which is the next day's topic. So suppose I use that thing, and this value will store into that list, this one. But what happened at the time of the execution, python interpreter, suppose you wanted to create any kind of operation with this variable, then it will not distinguish either this list is your inbuilt variable, or it is sorry, the list is your keywords, inbuilt keywords, or it is a variable. And the second one is, you will find out that sometimes modifying of that list will not be possible because of this keyword. Likely, suppose I want to convert this list to some another data type or to the another data structure, what happen, it will throw some error or throw some issue to the consoles. That's why don't try, always try to avoid the built-in keywords into the system, because most of the time when this conflict will arise, whenever we are going to create or we are going to use this list or that kind of stuff, this situation will arise or declare into one list to another list. Okay, so this one is done. Now you can use underscore at the beginning of your variable names, but this underscore basically provides a special type of characteristics into the python. What is, I think all of you guys know about the constructor. So constructor declaration starts with the underscore format, double underscore. Okay, let me, I'm just for visualization, but I'm just taking one space here, that there is double underscore. Then there is some, suppose init is a inbuilt your constructor. Then we are going to use this part or that one. So underscore we can use to declare a variable, but try to avoid this one because for from the naming convention we are not going to use it. It will reflect or it will conflict that part. So try to always start with a any alphabet at the first time. Then in between you can use the underscore. Now suppose I'm going to create a variable's name. So suppose I'm going to use a list of apples. So I can use list of apples. This is one of the correct formats. See, the variable name always start with the small case, and after that if it is consist of more than 2 words or 3 words, after the first words remaining should be capitalized, or you can say the title format. The first letter of the first alphabet should be in caps, then after that remaining are the small. And the method name, that also should be the similar to your the grammar means suppose I wanted to draw something, so method name I can declare as a draw. So that way we can declare it. So don't use anything that has no context according to your the program or according to your code. Okay, so that's we also do while we start into the next session on the next area. So for now, just remember that whenever we are going to declare any variable, try to use this format. That name should be start with the smaller case, then uppercase, and then so on. String. Now, one of you just tell me what is the difference between character versus string. Tell me what is the what is character and what is string? Yes.
So character consists of single character, single value, and string consists of multiple characters.
Hmm.
Combination of multiple characters is string.
We can say the string is a combination of multiple character. Now in Python there is no concept of character. It is discarded. Only string is supported. So in Java, you guys have seen that suppose I wanted to declare a character, I have to do that kind of stuff. This is a character of A. If I want to assign it, character, so variable is name equal to A. But in Python, it is modified. You can use this single quotation or double quotation for your string declaration. There is no concept of character here. Everything is considered as a string, individual string. And suppose I declare this apple, and here also if I declare apple, this we can do interpolation of this set of string. That means suppose in a string you guys already know that we can perform various kind of operation, the slicings, some kind of your subslicing, some kind of your modification. Modification means direct string modification is not possible, but yes, we can modify something in some context. So in Python also we can do that kind of stuff. Now, this is the formatted way to declare a string, either in single inverted comma or double inverted comma. But okay, let me show you one. This is the one correct way, as well as this is the second correct way. So next is suppose I wanted to declare something. Now, it will set as a string. Either it will set as a string or not. See, what happened if I want to declare it? Suppose I want to declare Saurabh's house. It will throw one conflict. In Python, up to that it will consider as a string and it will discard that part. It will throw the error up to this one also. it will throw the error. So on that context, what we can do? Simple, we can do one thing. Just mix up your characters. It will make you can mix up your characters. You can use single quotation under double quotation. It will throw no error. Okay. And there is one concept of escape character. What I will show you that suppose it is going to throw error. Use that thing. What is that? This escape character basically it is used to escape the functionality of the Python and return it as a string. That means now this quotation is nothing but a string here. But try to use this format, that format. Never try to use this escape character format. So what happened? Suppose you are going to in a basic string, you can use it. There is no issue. But suppose you are going to create a NLP kind of format, or you are going to create a text recognition. What happened at the time of your building some models? There is one concept called tokens. Tokens is nothing but each individual's the names. So when you are going to tokenize all the words from a sentences or from a paragraph, what happens? It will provide some kind of conflict. So try to avoid this escape character most of the time. But if there is required, you have to do it, then go for it. Otherwise, try to avoid this escape character format. Clear, everyone?
Escape character is required in everywhere, but it's not necessary, sir.
Is the escape character?
Whether it is necessary to use.
No, as I told you now, suppose in some context you require. Suppose you got one string, because data are coming from the other side. We are not
Yes,
creating
sir.
any data. Suppose your data came from that format. So you guys see that this
Okay.
it is not taking in my system. It is not taking as a string. On that format, you can use this escape character.
Okay.
But I actually find out that using the escape character, mostly it will provide the conflict to the system, to the model. So try to avoid this part.
Okay.
Okay. Now let's start. As I told you that these Python, the string basically here everything as a string, so we can apply all the string type of operation, nothing but all the slicing operation with the string format. So suppose I wanted to get this only the first character from the string, I can easily get it using the slicing operator. So the slicing operator, let me show you the what is it? This is the slicing operator basic fundamentals. Means suppose if I do this thing, okay, one thing I wanted to save some value. Okay, I'm taking simple hello world. So first, what is the slicing operator values shows? Let's say this is the start index, this is the end index, and this is a jump. What is that? So this is the general format. Suppose if I do start, then what would be the character of this hello world? This is about 0, 1, 2. This is the 0 to 4, then 5, then 5, 10. And by default, this is a by default value of here. So I'm not actually counted the value. So this will be the last index, nothing but the index of D. So this is the default value of this slicing. If I do slicing this format, then it will throw the whole string, nothing but the hello world. Next is, as I told you, this is the starting index. So if I change here from 2 to 5, so what happened? Now see, I am not using this jumping up part or jumping part. So what happened? It will So from result from 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Actually this, the end one represent n minus 1, means the 5 represent the last character would be fourth index. So from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, nothing but value would be L. Next is, there is several slicing operation we can perform. Suppose I only do 0. What will the return value? The return value will do nothing but only h. If I want to do s of 1, the return value would be e. 2 L. But all of these in the string format.
Sir, how jump is helping to us? Jump.
Yeah, I will stop. How this jump? Basically, this jump means you guys already done the for loop or any loop in C programming language. In C programming, what we have done, first we initialize the variable integer I equal to 0, then the terminating condition, and the last one is the increment decrement. This jump basically act as your increment and the decrement. What happens? Suppose, see, and you see here I am not declaring anything after that. If I declare here only, then what happened? By default it will take all the value and will provide the result up to this hello world. Sorry, up to this hello world, the complete world. Okay, you guys all try it in your home, but I'm showing this thing. So if I don't use this slicing up operator, what happened? It will take only the first character. Now suppose if I do this format, what happened? By default it takes the first one, the starting index. By default it also takes the last index, and the jump is nothing but 1. So the value will be nothing but normal hello world. But if I do this second, so what it takes first h, it will skip the a, then it will print l. Let me write. First you take h, then e will discard it, then l, then l will discard it, then o, then w, then so it will be the value. It will jump up from first 0, then skip the 1, then 2, then skip the 2, then 4, then skip the 4, skip the 5, then 6, again from 8 and the 10. It will do that kind of iteration there. Now,
Sir,
yes,
sir, then why the end part is required? Because the jump is already looping the entire string. Then the end is not required here, na?
this one,
The end part.
this one,
Start and then jump. Yes.
yeah. Why this is required? So see, by default from Python, suppose we have done that one. Only as we have to represent something, right? So by default, if I declare something here, it would take only the starting index, this one. Okay, suppose I wanted to declare only the end index, I have to do that kind of format. So what happened? It will provide no result. I have to do 2. Then what happened? It will provide only the h, the end index. This is the default format. You have to use that way. And suppose you have to declare it in the jump, then you have to mention to the Python interpreter that it is nothing but my jumping that data, this jumping data. So for that reason, you have to declare this too. Okay. Suppose you have not done it, you only declare 2, but you wanted to use this jumping format. What happened? The Python interpreter get that it is showing the value of nothing but the second, nothing but this one, L. Got it?
Sir, in Java part, we write 0, then what happened?
In
Jump part,
jump part, we write
0.
0. Basically, it will take the default format, nothing but the normal format it will print.
Hello, sir.
Normal
So you
format
just
means this one, the hello world.
hello, sir.
Yes.
So you're given the jump part. There is 2.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
So it is not taking the E value 0, 1, 2. It is taking the L value. And from the world part, it again started with the 0, right? 0, 1.
No, 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 no. See, first let me show you one thing. This is the hello world, right?
Mm.
So everything has a index bounded. This H has index 0, this E has index 1, then 2, then 3. When I do this 2 word, what happened? First it print the index of 0, then directly it will jump to the after 2 index. It will not print the 1 index. It will 0, then plus 2, that is nothing but here. Second index, then again plus 2 here, again plus 2 here, again plus 2 here. That way my format is not correct, that's okay, but it will print that way man. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, the space will allocate or not?
Huh?
Space. The space
Space,
between
yes.
hello.
Space also has a
Yes.
character. Space also has a character. It is also the same one character here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Space represent a character. Okay. Here we can. Okay, let me write down. In general, we write down it is a cross B, but here I think, yeah, we have nothing but the space. Okay. Now, suppose I have done only 3. So what happened? What it will print? It will print first AGL. From 0, then 1, then 2. Because it the 3 represents 3 minus 1 actually take at the back end. So whatever has written from n, it would at the back end it would take as a n minus 1. Okay, but let not write it here. Remember that part. Clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now come to the confusion part. Negative index. I'm doing the same part, but instead of that, I'm just providing here -1. What it will print? You can try. You guys already all try. Just take a Python, any Python console, and do that format. This one. What it will print? Then this -1 basically this hello world. It will print up to. It will discard the last one. Nothing but the print value would be sorry. It will print up to the last one. Discarded the last format. So just first let me remove that one. First just do this. So now the starting index is -1. So what it will print? In general, if it is +1, it will print nothing but the E.
E.
Now it will print the last one, D. Negative mean it will start from the reverse. If it is -2, then it will start A. Okay, it will flow that format. Now if I do this -1, what happened? Any guess first?
The D R.
Great. print the reverse. This is the one beauty of the Python, that you can use the negative index and just only in one line just reverse. You will reverse the whole content, the whole line. Okay, so that's all about the slicing. So you can just go and practice this slicing up. Try, take one or two example, go and use anything anywhere. Just practice it up, you will find out that it is very interesting.
Sir,
Yes.
is there any complexity like buffer overflow?
Buffer overflow? No.
Yes,
No,
no.
no, nothing. See, in Python, like the buffer overflow, memory, this memory has some contingency, or the memory overflow.
Hmm.
Everything is done automatically by the Python interpreter. Python interpreter has one key property, nothing but the memory management. This
Yes, sir.
memory management all takes everything. Like suppose your buffer has no space memory, it will manage something there. This
Oh,
garbage collection, everything that is managed by the memory management in Python. That is one of the key advantage. So you
oh,
guys have,
okay.
any programmer don't have to think about that. Like suppose the memory is not there, or it will may, or but yeah, if there is some syntactical mistake, then it will throw the error. Other than that, internally,
Hmm.
there is no issue that any programmer has to face, due to Python
Okay.
has the facility.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, one thing that is important, suppose this is a slicing. Now I wanted to do that. My first word was hello in general. Okay, one thing, one thing. These are not we are assigning. Remember that these are the printed value. Let me write it down. These are not the, we are not assigning the age to the position 0. These are basically the what will be the output value of the 0 is age. Okay, remember. So don't confuse at home that we are either we are going to assign it or not. We are not assigning. These are the printed value. Why I am saying that thing? Because suppose now I am going to assign it. Age. So as first it is age from the example. Now suppose I wanted to from remove the age and I wanted to replace it with the m. So what happened if you try to do this, it will throw the error, because strings are immutable in Python. Strings are immutable. Why strings are immutable? Mainly strings are immutable because, now let me show you. I think this is basically a similar concept of the Java also provides a similar concept, where the all the variables are located, all the variables on the location are located, nothing but the heap space. You guys all know about, right, the heap memory, stack memory, where the variable are stored, where the method are stored. No or not? Okay, no issue. Remember the variables. Okay, the objects are the variables are stored into the heaps. A normal heap space are there, nothing but it is said uh, heap space. We can say it is heap space. So into that heap space there are several sections, several area. Suppose there is for string, to store or to save some string into the memory, there is one area known as a string constant pool. So into the string constant pool, suppose what happened when this virtual machine, nothing but here in Python the interpreter got the value, nothing but this hello world. What happened into this heap memory, there is one concept, one area known as the string constant pool, and there what happened, it stored the value. hello world. And after storing the value, then whenever we are going to create any reference, it will create one reference here. The variables, all the variables are stored into the stack memory. Okay, and all the objects or these literal value means what are the raw data. Directly you can say the literals are the raw data. So this is one of the string literal value. Integer 10, this is the integer 10. It is also the integer literals value. So this string literals value are stored into the heap space. A personal heap space is there, nothing but string constant pool. So whenever we are going to create the value s, suppose I created one value s. So what happened? It will create, suppose the reference of this value is nothing but 1003, and it will create and assign that reference to here, nothing but s. So now the s contains the value, what is the value defined into the memory space, nothing but 1001. Now I can create a copy of here. I can create simply just make one s1 is copy. What happened if I do that one, that part again, this memory will allocate here 1001. So now I wanted to modify like this way. So suppose if I want to modify that format, then if Python is mutable, then what would be happen? This h will cancel out, this h will cancel out, and it will be replaced by m. Okay, so now the string has this mell word. Whenever we are going to access it from the s1 variable, it will show the result of this. But we modified the variable s, not the s1, right? We modified the variable s, not the s1, but we are getting the value from the s1, that is nothing but the modified value. This is the reflect, this is the conflict that provide. That's why in Python all the strings are immutable in nature. Clear? Any confusion, tell me, I will repeat this thing again.
So please repeat again.
Sir, can you repeat? Okay.
Surely. In Python, all the variable, these are set string literal value, because they are raw data, nothing but direct data. We cannot, basically we cannot do any kind of operation. We can create any kind of operation on the variables, not the data directly. Like this 10, suppose I have the value 10. So what we can do, we can create 10 plus 2, but where to a variable, nothing but a equal to, we can do any kind of operation to variable, not the direct data. So that's why these are called the constant value or called the constant data. Right? So this is known as the string literals. So in any object-oriented programming languages, if some programming languages have some modifiable character, so we leave that part. Most of them, to store the literal value directly, nothing but the hello world value, there is one personal space inside the heap memory. Heap memory. The heap, inside the heap memory, there is one personal space known as the string constant pool. String constant pool. Now, what happened? These whatever literals came, the Python interpreter will understand this is the nothing but the literals value, and it will store into the string constant pool. Suppose the hello world came. If the next time, suppose my name, if the my name is came, nothing but the Manish, then it will store again here also Manish. If suppose some other name will came, some any string value will came, it will store into the string constant value. And remember one thing, this string constant value is unique. We cannot create any duplicate value, or you cannot store any duplicate value into the string constant pool. Now the next part. So we have stored as this value is came, nothing but the hello world, the value has came. So this value is stored here into my string constant pool, and I assign here nothing but this one, s equal to hello world. So what happened into that s, what is the value content s, the s has the value of this address. In Python, most of the time we assign the reference of that, assign the reference. So this reference value, nothing but this reference value of the string constant pool is assigned into the s. Now this s has the value of 101. So whenever we're going to access this, from whenever we access it with the s, we can basically directly fetch that whatever preside into this 1001, and we will show the result. It will happen in that way. Now again we create a second variable, nothing but s1, and we again store the hello world here. If I say this with that format, then we store the hello world into s1 also. So in the backend, what happened, it will store nothing but the reference of this string literals. Now this s contain the hello world reference, and the s1 contain also the hello world reference. Now suppose I wanted to modify, suppose I wanted to change, suppose I change this age to x. So what happened now, my new value would be nothing but xcllo. This is the new value. If it modified, then it would be the new value. Now I changes this way, I changes that format, nothing but accessing with the s. So if Python allow to modify the value, then what happened, using the s, using accessing the s value, what will the output, nothing but this one, this little. Now into this s1 variable, okay, suppose in the next time I wanted to print the value of the s1, then this s1 will not print the hello world, because in the back end the value is already modified by the s, and s1 and s1 contains the same reference. So whenever we are going to access it with the s1, output value would be nothing but this one, hello world. But we are not modifying anything with the s1, we modifying everything with the s. So a conflict arises that we use s for modification, but whenever we are going to access it from the s1, it will also show the same result, nothing but this one. That's why in Python by default it is create a immutable kind of structure. So whenever you require, whenever you are needed, you are not able to change the value. Remember that. Suppose I wanted to change, I wanted to modify or do kind of any edit option, in generalistic way we are not able to modify the string value directly. Clear? Clear? Or okay.
So basically, sir, we can't change the value.
You can edit in generalistic way, you can edit, but yeah, there is some way we can modify, but that is completely different, that I will show. But in generalistic way we cannot edit any string variable. So it will throw error, we are not able to do that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay. Now in Python there is, suppose is equals to, okay, let me do, okay, in new name a, hello, b equal to word. If I do a plus b, so is there any way? No, from the definition, from the C, either it is possible to the Python or not. Now check, this is nothing but the a hello word, hello hello, and this is nothing but the b represent the word value. Now if I'm going to do the a plus b, what happened into the back end, it will throw any kind of error or not? Now see, it will throw no error. Why is that? We are not going to modify the value variable directly, nothing going to with this hello or what. So into the backend it will create a separate literal, and if I wanted to store it, then we can to here also. I will provide the result. So we can append the value or we can concatenate the value, but we cannot able to edit the value directly. Clear? You can do concatenation. You can do one thing. Suppose I wanted to print it multiple times. So suppose d equal to a multiply 10. What happened into the back? Okay, let me. What happened? There would be a 10 times hello into the backend. Hello, hello, and so on.
Sir, if we put a minus b, then what will happen?
No, negative operation will not work in Python.
Oh, sir.
Basically, this plus operator. This is one of the good question. In computer, basically any computer, any system, computer only understand one operation, nothing but the addition. The subtraction, multiplication, division,
Yes, sir.
modulo,
Yes.
everything is understood as the addition operation.
Yes, sir.
So a minus b has no meanings to this backend, right? If it is binary, then we can represent it as your, you can say the
Those
example.
complements is.
Yeah, the complements, and that's basically
Yes,
it
sir.
will do the complement operation at the down head or the machine level end. But here it will have no effect or no issue. Okay, so no. So any question or I will continue. Okay, so Python has this string has lots of method, lots of method. These methods are very important, and as well it will make your work very easy. Okay, so let's start. First is the method name is capitalize. This method you guys try in your home. This capitalize method. What is the capitalize method? This capitalize method, it will show basically it will take the string value and it will capitalize the format. Okay, one thing we can do, let it this thing directly to be. I'm using directly. Can you guys see my screen? Okay, let me increase.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
These are all the string methods. See, there is lots of, these are the some constructor, inbuilt constructor there. So for now, let's leave the constructor part, that we will start in the class and object section. But let's start with this capitalize. See what happened? The first word capitalize. What is the function of this capitalize method? Basically, it will take the whole content and the first word it will show as the capital for capital alphabet. So suppose if it is the capital H, what happened? See, there will be no issue. The result it would be there. So there is no error value for this capitalize method, and this capitalize method will take no argument here. Next. Case fold. This case fold, basically it is used, suppose if your format is uppercase, so it will it will take the value, all the string, and it will create the smaller case or smaller case format. Remember, Suppose it is my hello world. See, the hello world is now. And the second one is see this lower is also do the same functionality. If I do start upper, it will capitalize the hammer. Now what is the difference between this one and this one? This case fold is more stronger than the lower method, because sometimes if there is some issue, if I write multiple methods or multiple methods in a single line, this case fold by forcefully it will convert the value, by forcefully it will convert this hello world result. But this lower, if there is some certain type of conditions, then what happen, it will not create it will not convert this data as a smaller case. Okay. But at the end of the result, this both method basically provide the same functionality, similar functionality. Okay. Now, let me comment it down. This center is nothing but it is one of the method. Basically it will arrange it will arrange your this string content along with your center. So basically it takes two argument. In general it takes two argument. One is the length, how much length we require it. Suppose if I make it as a 10, so it will assign this in between this 10th length, the hello world would be the center case format. Let me show you. Okay. These are all my 50 words or 50 space or 50 we can understand, or we can say the 50 characters into the 50 character. Now my hello world is into the center positions, the center bit. So this center text, this is the first argument, that is how much required space we needed. Now see, if I provide it as a 5, so what happened? See, there will be no reflect, because the length of the string is greater than the what is the parameter we have provided. So remember the parameter, if I wanted to provide some data or some string into the center wise format, then what happened? It should be either the length of the value plus 1, or if it is length of the string value less than, then what happened? The result would be same. It would not reflect anything. Second argument is the characters. Suppose here I want to fill it with the capital Q. Save it. Okay. Okay. Now the next is count. This count parameter takes 3 arguments. One is the basically what is the function of this count. The count provides, suppose if some special character is there or some special substring is there, you wanted to check that how many times it appears inside into your paragraph or into your line or into your context. Okay. And one thing that I okay, that I will say in the next part. So basically this count is very important method, and it has lot of functionality at the time. Suppose at the time of the NLP or any format, suppose you wanted to find out that which the number of occurrence of which word is has maximum value, then you can use directly the count value. So if I run the file, it will throw the error. See, as the center, there is at least we have to declare one parameter there. If I use the count, see, check the type error. That means this count parameter at least take one argument. What is the argument? Nothing but which word we wanted to check. Okay. So let me just first I want to check that, suppose, okay, how much time E is appear. You can check the word also directly. Suppose this 2 or anything. You can check any word, any substring. You can check. I want to check that how much time the O is appear. Just run the file. 6 times the O is appear. Is that like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now it takes also again two parameters. These parameters are optional parameter. One is the start value and the second one is the end value. So what is the start value, end value? Suppose I provide here the 5 and the end value is 10. Then it will start from the fifth index. So what is the fifth index? This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing but we start from the M, and 10 means nothing but in between there. So if I write down there, there will be only one result. See, one result. Basically nothing but these two. So this is the functionality of this count value, the count parameter. And check always what is the return value. This s dot capitalize, s dot case 4, lower, upper, center count. These all returns what I mean. This count returns something but a integer value. Center returns something but a string value. Upper, lower case, this all returns string value. This returns something integer value. So next is encode it. If I print it down, see, there is, it provides similar kind of result, only B is present. So what happens, this encode will take, basically it will encode that string. Okay, as we did not define any argument here, it takes also two arguments. See, it takes only two arguments. In general, it takes that which encoding format we wanted to do, we can use it in this encode format. But by default, it takes UTF format, UTF-8. Next is and one thing remember everyone, if I do a one space, what happen? See, let me run it down. Already warning is done. See, identification. That means in Python, identification is very important. Why is that? That I will show you today. This ends with, basically it takes one argument. It takes, in general it takes three arguments. Two is optional and one is main or first or primary argument. Ends with will check that either it is going to end with the value or not. That means suppose it is ends with that particular substring or not. If I do suppose ABC, now you guys clearly see that this ABC is not my ending format of this value. If I run the file, now see, you see the false. That means the return value of this ends with method is boolean. Next is, let me write down that. So if I run the file, false. Now suppose, let me 0, 1. Start index is 0, end is, let me count it down, 0, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me check it. Now the second one takes as the n minus 1. So actually why n minus 1? Because this 7 will represent in basically in programming world, the index start from the 0. That's why here the position of 4 represent the fifth value. That's why it takes always the n minus 1. Now check into this welcome. This welcome banner, it is end with E or not? It's end with E. From 0 to 7 means 0 to 6. So up to that, from 0 to 6, it is end with E. That's why it is show the result of true. So you can check any substring there also, any substring. No, I need. This slash t represent one tab. Okay, that I am not sure one thing. Slash n represent new line. Slash t represent one tab. Slash p represent one backspace. Okay, these are the special we can say these are one of the special kind of escape characters. So this case fold, basically it will create the tab spaces. Okay, that means in between these tabs, how much gap we need. By default, one tab space means 8 spaces. So by default, see, it will show, if I write it down, sorry, PS1. See, this is my by default one tab spaces. If I provide the 4, check, it will increase the value. So it is not case. By default, it is one tab spaces. If I represent it with the 4, what happened? See. Now 4 spaces in between this slash t. All the slash t replaced with the 4 space. Now if I do this the 10, then all the slash t will represent the 10 spaces. Okay, so this is the expand tabs method. Now this find method. This find method is used to find out that either that particular substring is present in my string or not. That is one of the very important method inside. So suppose I wanted to check that is my is present or not. Okay. Now see, this my is present, and along with this value, it will return the index position of this my. Nothing but the index starts from the 11 index. So that is the find of the key, that it will return not the Boolean value, it will return what is the index or what is the location of the particular substring into the string. Now suppose here I am passing some other value, and let's check. See, this find method never throw any kind of exceptions. If the matching is not there, if the matching is there is mismatch, whatever, it will just throw the negative index, nothing but the negative one. this z. Now this index also provide the same functionality, but what is the difference? The difference is that this, suppose the index is the substring is not present, you throw the error. See, you throw the substring is not found. Okay, next is this is all now. What is the method? This method basically is used to check that the string is alphanumeric or not. Can anyone say what is the alphanumeric value? You guys already know about that. It is alphanumeric or not, right? Any guesses?
So it's a combination of both numericals and characters,
Okay,
I
so
think.
yes, obviously whatever I say it is true. So suppose I use this one. So welcome you and E3 World 5. So if I'm going to check it with the S2, what happens? Let me check. Are they going to throw it is throw true or false? Basically, it also return true or false. So let's check. It is false. What happened? Okay. This alphanumeric is only check either the string contains the characters, mean nothing but from A to Z or capital A to Z or 0 to 9. So here see I'm providing one space. So the space, special characters, if it is present into your system, then it will throw the false value, it will throw the error value. Okay, so remember, suppose at the times you wanted to check that your is present or not, either it is present or not, some spaces you can use it is or not. Then if the place is present, then definitely it will return the false value, and remember it returns a false value. Now suppose if I do this, check it again. So what happened? The criteria is it will not take the for space. I'm representing this as a simulator spaces or any special character. Any special character will not take. It will throw the error. Okay. Next.
Sir,
Yes.
can you use any arguments to identify uniquely?
Any argument?
Yes.
No. For that basically there is another kind of method. You can use find method to check either that particular character is present or not.
Uh,
Here into this find method you can use the space also. No, don't worry. But it is also better because this find method, why I advise you to use this one, this find method is not return the boolean value. If you guys find out one of most of the time it is needed that true space is present or not, then what will be the return value? I need a return value true or false. I don't need to check that at which location. Suppose in a sentence, okay, uh, sometimes if the raw data came, you will find out that there is no spaces there. Sometimes it may be happening if it is very unstructured kind of data. Okay, but if on that on that point, if it is you want to check that either your data or your that particular string value is contained in space or not, you wanted to check it. If it contains a string value, then go for some kind of another kind of filtering. So on that part you can use that kind of format. But if you needed the index value, then use the find or index. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, is there any method to convert the first alphabet of every word to capital, like W, T, M, H?
Every word.
Yeah, every first alphabet
Uh,
of every word.
Use the title method.
Okay.
Okay. This way. Is dot here it is. It is transform it. See.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can I do the same by using the upper and
No.
defining some arguments?
This upper. What is upper? Basically, it will by default upper will take no argument.
Oh, sir.
If I use upper, then what happen? It will capitalize. It will create all the lowercase to the uppercase. But in some here, this title method, you can create any coding logic and you can use this thing. Suppose I can iterate this thing, and in Python the iteration is also easy. That I will show you when we start the loop section. If I start the iteration or iterable things, then what happen? This now we can check each of the word, and at the end of we can replace. So in Python the replace is in general is not possible. You have to remove it and you have to add it. That way you can do this thing. But the easiest way is use this method. So in Python, basically there is lots of method and there are lots of this supported. Now this thing is done. Second is or none. Is alpha. See, it is so fast. It is nothing but check that either this S contains is alphabet or not. Okay, so here contains the spaces. Let me show you. Now it is true. Similarly, there is another method. Zero is digit. Definitely will throw this digit will take from 0 to 9. No others, no character, no specific, so it will throw the false. Next is we can check that the value is decimal or not. Suppose I am going to declare it is 5. True. Next is if I put a, what it will return? False. Basically check that the value is decimal or not. False. It is not a decimal. Now suppose I have written down this format. Now see, it is showing the true result. Now how is it possible? It is not a decimal, it is combination of string. This is
Because of
nothing
this
but
less.
no. This is nothing but a special kind of format. I think you guys heard of Unicode format. This is the
Yes,
Unicode value. This is the
Unicode
Unicode
set.
value of 0. So you can check Python basically to check either it is your Unicode format or UTF format. The lots of format is supported in Python. That is one of the key advantage in Python. So it will show the result 0.
Sir,
Yes.
if I want to check float numbers, then it's work.
Float number, no. Float number, it will not show the result, because of, see, in float number there is one character is present, nothing but dot, right? So for that reason it will show the result is false.
Okay.
In there it will take only the decimal integer value.
Okay.
Okay, so most of the string method is already covered. Two important method is there that I will show, and these two method is most of the time is required. Okay, now as I told you, for checking the space there is one method also, so I forget about that. Suppose s dot is, see, these are all the methods is space. This is space, basically it takes the string. If the string contains only white characters, that means, suppose true. So in general it is not possible, but if you create any substring format and for the checking and checking one little bit, suppose you got a string, you wanted to remove all the spaces in there, you just create one method, and after that suppose a method will return or a method will check that the space is present on there or not. There you can check it that either the space is present or not for double checking, but most of them we don't require that kind of methods. Is upper L just is nothing but justify. Suppose I want to justify up to 20 character. So what happens? See, okay, it will justify up to some context. Like it will takes, the first is that number of length, how much it required to justify, and next one is that special character. By default, it is blank, and if I wanted to declare it as spaces, then you can use the spaces. So there is L just, there is normal justify, there is I write just. So you guys check it. Main important is, suppose now here I am declaring a list. So what is the join method? Join is a special kind of string method. It takes any array kind of structure, like either it is your list or tuples, and into that list or tuple, whatever value you have declared, it will append one with each other with some special character. Here I am declaring it with a space, then it will take here I'm declaring it with no spaces, so it will the print statement or the result, the output will nothing but ABC. Suppose I want to declare it with the special character, then it will create a special character and join the whole content. Let me show you. See that it is ABC. Suppose if I do add that, then what happened? See, A at that, B at that, C. If I wanted to do this special character, then A space, B space, C. There is another join method. And remember one thing, this join method takes, basically this join method is used to convert any list or tuple to the string. Okay. Now there is similar kind of reverse method. Suppose
Sir, can you do the same by defining the index value of the array?
I do not understand. Define the
The,
index value.
Sir, can you do the same by defining the array index number?
Means a of 0, a of
Yes.
1. No,
Like that.
actually, this join method only takes that direct array, not an index value. If I provide the index value a of 0, what happens? The return value a of 0 is nothing but a string. Okay,
Yes.
but the join method only takes a array type of value, array type of data. So it will reflect something. Let us check. It will reflect something. Okay, no, it will takes only a. It will not join anything.
Yes.
No. But yeah, we don't do this kind of part. Let me check it whether it is take two more value or not. It may join these two. Let's see. Oh yeah, it throws error. We will join it, take only one argument. See, the list index must be integer or slices list.
So this should be a zero. A zero. Then.
Okay, sorry. See, join takes exactly one argument. Two is given.
Yes.
That's why.
It take only one argument.
One argument. Now, suppose I want to declare abc@gmail.com. This split. Now this split method is used to split the content of this here, nothing but this string, to some particular kind of list. Nothing but the split method is used to convert a list to the convert a string to the list. If I do the same part, let's check. Okay. And it will, the return value of this split method is nothing but a list. See, now this abc came, and next is gmail.com. Okay, next is suppose here it is at the rate, double at the rate. So what happened? See, this abc, then gmail, then .com. Okay, it will basically take the special character and it will create a list kind of structure. Basically it will split in between the special character. Suppose I wanted to split it with only single times, so use the factor 1. See, only single times it will split. If it is, if I provide 2, then it will two times it will take the character. If I provide the 3, see, there is only 2 times the character is there, not the 3 times. What happened in the result? See, but it will take that the number, the value is given is basically the count of this value greater than 1. That's why it will take by default value nothing but abc, or that is the maximum value, nothing but these 2 times here. So remember this thing, that suppose you have mistakenly you have divided some more value here. What happened at the end? That the result would be, what is the maximum occurrence? Nothing but 2. So the value would be 2 by default. The Python automatically change, automatically convert. Where the split method defines, this kind of structure is already defined. If the argument is greater than the count of this one, the default value is count of this at the rate, and the value come here like that. Okay, clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now this thing is, most of the thing is done, one part is remaining. So then I will close today's session. as I told you that the string operation is not possible. So one is the format function, or you can say format structure. Let me show it. Okay, you guys all try to practice this whole format. Okay, I will share this code. So in generalistic way, we cannot add or you cannot edit the string value. Okay, I'm commenting it down now. Okay, let it be. Format will take near about 15 to 30 minutes. Let's complete to the next step. Because using the format keyword, we can basically edit the string that way. Give that part. So clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Any
sir.
question or any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
So yes.
So you was about to that Anaconda setup.
Okay. All right. Okay. So first, then let me stop my screen. Okay. So share your screen, Abhijit.
Hello, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, given the control.
Okay. One thing you all you have. Do you deleted everything?
So I just delete the registered part. Other than part I can do it.
Okay.
Just delete the registered
One
part.
thing.
Hello, motherfucker. Hey, I'm glad I don't know. Oh.
Whatever. So are you able to control?
Yes, I can able to control it. Okay. So first. No, actually, I'm not getting any control from your system.
1 second, sir. Let me check it out. What happened? So I'm again stopping my screen, again sharing it. So you just request for the control I'm giving. Okay, sir. Now you can check it.
Now I can control.
So you're not getting a what control?
Yeah, here I'm not getting any controls.
Tell me what I have to do. Just
First, you have to check it from software. Okay, go to software. Okay, software. Here maybe Anaconda. That would be. Check any Python is there. I see the Python console is there. See Python.
Python.
I'll go to Python. Python core.
Okay. 3.7.
3.7. Delete this in every file is there. First uninstall everything there from your system.
I have installed the Anaconda.
Okay, then I delete the Python, whatever that is, whatever file is located in Python.
Okay.
Just delete.
I'm deleting the Python itself.
Yes, deleting the Python.
Okay.
Now what you have to do, first you have to restart your system. After restarting, try the whatever anaconda, first check that any python is present into your system or not.
Okay, sir.
Check this thing, first check. If anything is present, delete this thing directly, use shift and delete. Don't need to paste it down. If you try to delete it into the recycle bin, then maybe some file would be there, maybe. So directly delete all the files. If it is into the python, then start to install the anaconda. Okay. I
Okay.
think it would not reflect this time. If again it is coming that way, then we have to do some such kind of another operation. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So do
Okay.
that part. If any issue occurs, you just ping me.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right.
Sir, we can whether we can use PyCharm at the same time in a system with
Yes,
Anaconda.
yes. Yes, with the anaconda, basically with the anaconda, your the anaconda already has a Python inbuilt.
Yeah. Python.
With the
Python.
Python interpreter, you can create any setup of this Python.
Okay, sir. I will do that.
Actually,
Thank you,
I
sir.
also done that part. At this PyCharm, you guys find out. Just go Google and download it in default version. PyCharm sometimes PyCharm requires some kind of key. Okay, so there is some kind server kind of system. With that, basically, you can use the free version of the PyCharm.
Okay, okay.
Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay. You guys try. If it is not, then next day I already had the software. I will share it.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Yeah, you are welcome. Okay, so today's class is over. So, sir, the class is over. Okay, so thank you then. Abhijit, you can